Welcome back. It's Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays, and you are tuned in to the
Turn up.
So
Hold on, let me do it again.
Right.
Do it again.
Welcome back, you guys. It's Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays. You are tuned into the
Turn up.
No.
Hit it.
One was word.
Okay, well, there's that. I was trying to make it exciting since we've been gone since May, so I know everybody is, anxious to get back into the fold and see what we're doing over here at Grape Roots and stuff. So, I was trying to make it mystery, like, oh, who is that under the hat? Is it Farmer Mac? Did they replace him? Is this like Johnny Gill?
So the reason why you're probably wondering what he's talking about is we are actually videoing ourselves now, so you get to actually see us in action.
They probably can see us right now, right?
No.
They saw us, they can see us, unless they're listening to it.
Right.
Okay, I get it.
They could
There
be
we go.
listening. They might
Could
not
be
be
listening.
tuned into the video. But there is an option now on the TLSC radio app where you guys can actually see us in action. So we're videoing ourselves, and that's why Farmer Mac is up to shenanigans.
Yes.
But we're back. It's season 3, and again, I'm your girl Roots, and
This is Farmer Mac, and we just want to welcome everybody, like I said, back. And we're excited to do some new things this year. And like I said, this episode, we're just going to catch up, let you know what we've been doing since May and what we're going to do here in September and fall and winter planting, and kind of what you to expect this year,
yeah.
or this season from the Turn Up.
Yep. We've been up to a lot. Again, we took the summer off. We just needed a really big break. During COVID, we worked a lot.
A lot. I think we calculated that we did at least 22 straight
Probably
weekends.
longer than that.
I think so. It started becoming, but it did break up the monotony though. I think that was really, besides trying to stay out and be healthy, and as we're homeschooling the children and me.
I'm homeschooling the garden.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm homeschooling my children or whatever, and that was being able to work in the garden every weekend, or even coming out there and maintaining it every day was a break from the monotony. So that was saving grace. So.
Yeah. And in that saving grace, we still needed a break.
Yeah.
But we're back, and we'll just kind of go straight into kind of what we've been doing over the summer. Our garden is live and full effect.
Yes.
But we've had some struggles this summer, actually.
Big struggles though, but through struggle, we learn. So that's but it was been a very, very, very interesting summer.
Yeah, some things you cannot control when you're growing, especially for us growing outside, is the weather. And here in Georgia, we typically have 90 plus degree weather all summer long, and it has not been that way this summer. It's been a little cool. So our cooler or our summertime crops that need the heat didn't quite grow like we thought they would.
Yeah, but it didn't. People that are down there, it started to get hot. I guess July, August and stuff, and it started getting 90. Because we had our tomatoes, we probably have close to 300 tomatoes growing at least, and they were green forever. When I say they finally just started turning 2 weeks ago, Tasha, Roots, whatever she's going by this week, she's like always, I'll give up on them. She just want to give up on them. I was just like,
they're just not going to turn red
yes,
ever.
but no, it's all about patience, and we've talked about this on episode before. There's a lot of patience. Roots will yell at them. I will, talk to them and caress them and make them feel wanted.
Did you say caress
I don't know. It came out wrong.
We're caressing tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, just but they're starting to turn. We've had some issues with some of the squirrels though. The squirrels and the rodents. We don't have any feral cats. We used to have feral cats. Previous 5 years we've been doing that. We've had feral cats. The garden, our farm is located behind a paper factory, so there's a lot of rodents that come in there. But the ecosystem has been well for us. We had raccoon that was there. It was probably about 6 foot. I swear that thing was.
Raccoon had babies on us too.
Yeah, she left, but we have 2 owls that come out probably around about 8:30, and we have a hawk that comes at 7 in the morning and around 6:50 in the evening. So they kind of took care of the rodents or whatever, but not the rabbits and not the squirrels.
Yeah, I know.
So And that's what they do. If y'all understand what they do, they really just want the water. They really just want the juice and stuff from the tomato. So all they do is bite it. They bite into it, suck it out, and then ruin the produce.
What kind of show is this today?
Hate on Animals Day.
Like
Trials and tribulations.
Tomatoes and then animals that bite and sucking things out. Like, what show is this again?
Family show.
But yeah, so we did have a rough time with our tomatoes specifically. They were green for, like Farmer Mac said, at least for 2 to 3 months. And so I was like, you know what, I'm not so sure they're going to turn. And they have recently turned. So they're giving us a good little run now, but it's the end of the summer technically, and so they are actually going to be pulled here shortly because they're starting to die. So we had a good 2-week run of our tomatoes turning red, but again, those are things you can't control. So the weather, if you're growing outside, is something that, you know, Mother Nature has its own mind. And so this year, even though it was cool for us, it wasn't cool for the plants. But we did have outside cucumbers did well.
The cucumbers did phenomenal. We were probably getting, like 10 every other day?
Yes.
Which is, I mean, the way that this works is phenomenal. Like, you sit there and you may see something little like a pickle, and the next day, we were getting ones that were like, I'm not gonna say this, it's gonna sound crazy too.
What are you gonna say?
You get some footlongs.
Yeah, literally cucumbers would be like 12 inches long, like literally. But the reason we had great cucumbers is because they're a water-loving plant, and we had a lot of rain. And so literally he would come outside, and a cucumber would be as the length of your finger one day, and the next day it'd be 12 inches long, like seriously. And so again, even though the weather wasn't great for our tomatoes, it was great for our cucumbers. So again, you got to take the good with the bad when you're doing outdoor gardening.
Yeah, like I said, it's trials and tribulations, and we have them growing up the cow panels, so that helps. I guess with the gravity helps pull them and everything. So that was good, and we didn't have any rodents really kind of mess with them.
No,
they were pretty good. Like I said, so we just pulled all those up.
Yeah,
within the last couple of weeks or whatever, and then we had this squash too, right?
We had squash. It didn't do very well. It's in the back of our garden, which we're still kind of trying to cultivate. That part I haven't quite figured out, and so we're actually going to re-nourish the soil over the wintertime months back there. But we had one squash, but we did really well this year with our watermelon.
Yes, finally. We've had vegetables for the last 5 years. And now we finally got the melons and the watermelons. And guess what I saw today?
What?
The blueberries.
Yeah, they're coming in the
They're
back.
coming in the back. Yes, the blueberries were coming in the back. So I didn't want to eat them. I wanted to eat them this morning or whatever. But yeah, I wanted to tell you like that. So finally, after these years, we got finally getting some fruit to produce. So.
Yes, so we're now into fruits and vegetables, but our watermelon did amazing. They grew really, really well, again, because they're a water-loving crop. And so here's the catch with watermelon. It really likes water, but it likes dry soil. So it likes to soak up all the water when it rains or when you water it, but at the same time, the soil needs to be a little dry. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but where we have them, our watermelon are on a hill so that we have water runoff so the soil doesn't stay wet too long. But they did amazing. They were sweet. They were juicy. I literally just ate one last night and was like, oh my God, I can't believe I grew this, or we grew this.
I'm about to say, I guess you just doing everything.
I guess we do it.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like I said, all of them didn't come out that good. I think we might have picked those other ones too early.
Yeah, we planted a couple different types, and I think Farmer Mac said we might have picked it a little too early because it was bitter, but it was big. So we're still learning when to harvest our watermelon. But we also had peppers, which, like our tomatoes, weren't doing very well in the beginning, but now they're really growing.
Boomings, yeah.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to do, as you see, if you followed us for the last few years, we are trying to perfect a certain amount of crops. We don't want to get too busy. This year, I said we didn't do a lot of peppers. Like last year, we had about 5 or 6 different type of peppers. We still doing about 15 plus different type of tomatoes. But like I said, we added some of the fruit, but the mainstays have been the cucumbers and the squashes. But we had the eggplant.
Oh yeah.
This show is going real wild now.
Yes.
The eggplant does not grow like the emoji either. But
It doesn't grow like the emoji at all. Like I'm so confused by the emoji how real eggplant look. Like real eggplant is more like a bowl. Like it's like round. And so yeah, we had some eggplant grow. I actually made some eggplant parmesan with it yesterday. It was really good. Well, the first batch wasn't, but the second batch was really good. But this is the first time we grew eggplant. It turned out really, really well.
Did you use our tomatoes too for the sauce too?
I did. Yeah. I made homemade tomato sauce from our tomatoes. No. If you guys want the recipe, just DM us. Just let me know. I'll let you know how to make it.
So I think, like I said, even with growing these different type of crops, it is like having your own grocery store across the street, and then that you be able to use everything from salads and everything. Like because our kale, we have our leafy greens are still outside. What was that? I did it. Was it the broccoli leaves?
Yeah, the broccoli leaves.
Yes, I sauteed. Yeah, I sauteed some of the broccoli leaves. Roots, picked them up. I washed them off. Cut them up just like some greens or whatever. Sauteed them. Nice little recipe I've come up with. Some garlic, a little bit of chicken broth, some onions, some peppers from the garden, oil and vinegar, and salt and pepper. That's it. Let that sit about, turn it about 2 hours. How everything would it. I mean, if you're good at cooking collard greens and cabbage, one of the best things right there to do is always taste the water. Taste the water. That's how everything's gonna taste. So yeah. But I forgot all about those leafy greens that we have on that.
Because leafy greens do not like hot weather at all. Think about when you buy like lettuce and it gets warm and it starts to get wilted. So that's how it does when it's outside. So that's why you don't really grow those things in the summertime. But because it's been so cool for us here in Atlanta, Georgia, our kale has lasted all summer long. We had Swiss chard that's lasted all summer long. I literally just picked it over the weekend. And we also had lettuce that lasted. We had broccoli leaves that last. I know you're wondering, like, what are broccoli leaves? So when broccoli grows, they grow these big leaves just like collard greens. So we actually didn't get broccoli stems, but we got all the big broccoli leaves. So you make it like collard greens, like Farmer Mac was just saying. And so we have all different types of kale also outside, and all those lasted all summer, and they're still out there.
Yep.
So that's been a different thing than usual also. So we've been able to use those. I typically use my kale in the morning as a substitute for spinach in an omelet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, well. So, and speaking of omelets, our chickens.
Oh, we have eggs.
Yes, our hens are now hens? Yeah, hens. Yeah.
Well, why do we call them chickens?
That's what they are. That's what the animal they are, hens. And then when they're born, they're chicks.
Oh.
Chicken. And then before they're pullets. Okay. So before they start laying eggs, they're pullets. So we have them. I think so. They were born in November. So they're 10 months old right now. Mm-hmm. I think they started laying probably about 3 months ago. So it didn't. At first, other people kept telling us like, "Oh, they should be laying eggs by now." They're brown egg layers.
And hold on, you guys do know there's not a difference between brown eggs and white eggs, right? Like, it just depends on what chicken they come from, and they're all the same on the inside. Like, one's not like better than the other, or one doesn't have a greater nutritional value than the other one. It just depends on which type of chicken they come from. It
there's
doesn't
blue ones, there's black ones, there's speckled eggs. It's more for just the entertainment of them, but it's very interesting, and I've enjoyed taking care of them. I haven't named them because that's weird.
They all look the same.
No, they don't. They're all different sizes. But we have 4 hens, and we were going to get fake eggs to kind of get them. So we built out the chicken coop with 3 little stations and everything. I was like, I don't know why we have 3 when we have 4 hens.
Right.
So we finally built out the 4th one. We built perch, everything in there. Then I guess, like I said, about 3 months ago, they started laying eggs. And I leave an egg in there in each of them, the coop, just to encourage them. But now they know what to do. And it's very interesting because at around 9:30, I hear the clucking.
Really?
I can hear the clucking when I'm at work or whatever. I hear the clucking, and I finally figured out that's with them. They're laying eggs or whatever. So I try not to disturb them during that time or whatever. So
because they're like giving birth, so to speak.
I guess so every day, no, for real, like just kind of pushing it out. So yeah, but I let them roam. They're like free range. I let them roam for a little while, but like I said, I can't be out there all day, and we have a lot. I mean, it's like I said, it's an urban farm, so there are city stuff that goes on. There's dogs, there's cats, there's hawks. I tell you everything. So yeah, that hawk, even though it's 7 in the morning and 6:50 at night, sometimes it kind of surprised me, and I'll sit out there and I'll watch him or her circle around or whatever. Trying to see if we can find a way to get them. But I see him take other birds and squirrels from trees and everything. So it's not a game. But yeah, we get 4 eggs. Yeah, I think now everybody first it started out 2, and then 3, now it's 4. So everybody's laying eggs now. So we get, like I said, 2.5 dozen a week. And that's like, so we donate it. We don't sell them. People come and give us money, and we donate them, but they're good though. Like I said, a lot of things I didn't know about it. You know, the eggs you see, they're in the fridge, they're refrigerated at the store, but that's because they've probably been laid a month or 2 before. But these, like I said, these are fresh. You can't see the membrane, but there's a protective membrane on there that when the chickens lay them, so they sit out on my counter. I put a date on the carton, sit out there for at least a month, a little longer than a month. And then if nobody's come and purchased them or donated them, I just put them in the refrigerator. So, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's amazing how people don't understand the difference between a rooster and what a rooster and a hen do.
People always often ask us like, "Oh, you guys eat the eggs?" Or like kids often ask us like, "So, why don't they turn into chickens?"
Still adults too. There's more adults than kids. Kids seem to understand it, but just like human reproduction, you need a male and a female in order to make it. So they are just laying eggs every day. There's I don't care if you incubate them or nothing like that. Nothing is going to happen to them.
Been fertilized.
It's not fertilized. I don't know how many times I've explained this to adults, but yeah. So I think if we get 4 more, I think we'll get a rooster. But I don't know if we'll have just a rooster just to roam around.
I didn't know we were getting a rooster.
Yes, we're gonna get a rooster if we get 4 more. So if we get 4 more, but we have to. I got to figure out the best combination because all the different chicken types are not gonna all hang together. These
so you can see
ladies
who takes care of the animals.
Yeah, every morning, boy, I love it. Just farming every morning. I gotta feed them. Sometimes I forget, and they'll peck me. But people are amazed how I call them, they come.
They follow Farmer Mac around.
They follow me around the garden.
To his house.
I come across here. If I go back to work in my office here, they sit there and they'll hang around outside in the bushes and everything. But when I tell them it's time to go, they go. They understand it. I clap my hands. Everybody know what time it is. Let's go. So that's what I truly enjoy. So if anybody's interested in that, look at your local, I guess, ordinance. I think it's a chicken for you can have it for every 2 square feet.
Okay.
2 square feet. Yep. So there's a lot of different houses here in this 10 miles radius that have chickens and roosters. They let them just walk around and everything. You'll get stuff on next door, like somebody's chicken is down the street or whatever like that. But no, we got too much stuff. I don't want to see that.
Our chickens know how to come back home.
They know. They know where to roost. So, but yeah. So that's another thing. Like I said, we've been doing since May. So just getting the eggs or whatever. It's starting to get overwhelming. That's what I said. Y'all come through. If y'all in Georgia, I'm in the Atlanta area. Y'all come through and get some of these fresh eggs.
Yes, and to piggyback on something Farmer Mac said, he said something about free range in regards to our chickens. And I know a lot of times people get confused about all these terms about what kind of eggs to buy. Again, whether I should buy brown eggs or white eggs, or should I eat free range, should I eat organic eggs? Just to give you guys some background on what all that means. Like I did say before, the brown eggs and the white eggs are the same. So I know in the grocery store they're more expensive because you think because it's brown it means natural and healthier, but it has the same amount of protein and the same amount of nutrients, the brown egg and the white egg. Also, in addition to like free range means that you just allow your chickens to roam free in your farm or garden. And so that's what that means. Organic means that they've been fed organic food, but here's the catch with organic. You can buy organic feed, or you can allow the chickens to organically feed off the land. So there's a couple of different nuances a lot of times that you see or hear, especially when you're buying, groceries in the store. So one thing I tell people all the time is just because you buy an organic egg in the store doesn't mean that they're free range.
True. Yeah.
It just means they were fed organic feed. It doesn't mean that they've been walking freely around whatever farm they were raised in. And so what you really want to look for is the first thing I would say is find local.
Yes.
So find yourself a local farmer that has chickens, because more than likely they're going to be free range and organic. And they might be a little more expensive, but hey, if that's what you're looking for, I would say look there first. Secondly, I would actually probably get free range over organic. Because that means the chickens aren't like all cooped up in like a little chicken house all together. That means they're just outside roaming around in like a natural habitat and a natural environment. And then I would kind of look for organic after that. But that's just a little tidbit about eggs and chickens, unless, when you're in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Or just come get them from us.
Just come get them from us. So
You're
because
in the
ours
area.
roam around. They eat roots as kale. So
All
this
the
is, every time they
time.
run
Oh.
out, that's the first thing they do. I said maybe they are vegan. But they run out. They run out to eat the kale. They don't eat our tomatoes, but if we have bad the cucumbers or something that's bad or something,
Okay.
that we'll cut those up. They'll eat that. The rind from the melon, they like those too. So yeah, we feed them good, especially when it's hot. When it's starting, like I said, now that's getting hot out there, we try to make sure that it's some type of melons, and that's besides the chicken feed and the to help with the sturdiness of their shells. We actually use eggshells. I just crumble up eggshells in the morning, along with some worms and some chicken feed, and I mix that all together. I've had it all fancy, I had a little plate for them, but they'll knock it over and everything like that. So they didn't like that, so I just threw it on the ground, and they just like it that way. But they are very good at going in there once they free range. Like it's rain today, they'll go out there, find all the worms and eat all the worms, and we fed them snakes yesterday.
I found a snake out the other day.
You found another snake?
Maybe
Yeah.
they took it out the...
No, it's probably another snake. We found some snakes yesterday, about 4 of them. So, yeah.
So we try to make sure we use everything from the garden for some kind of purpose. So again, if I have tomatoes that I haven't used in a while, then I won't just throw them away. I'll turn them into something like spaghetti sauce. Or if we have kale that's gone bad, then maybe we turn it into something like a shake, or I'll feed it to the chickens. Or if we have cucumbers that we wouldn't necessarily give to someone who's coming to get them from us, then we'll give those to the chickens. So we try to use everything to make sure we can have a purpose for everything we grow out here.
So what are we going to do now? Oh wait, before we do that, the kids, we forgot about the kids.
What about the kids?
The kids have been coming through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot since May. I forgot. Yeah, we said we was taking a break, but we really haven't taken a break.
Kind of took a break.
Yeah.
So we've had a group of awesome, amazing kids come by every Wednesday who help us kind of keep the garden maintained. And so again, I don't know if you guys are familiar out there with what exactly we do at Grape Roots. We are a teaching farm. So we definitely teach individuals, whether those be kids, adults, whoever wants to come learn how to grow. Our main goal is to make sure that you grow, eat, sustain.
I knew you were going to do that. Don't touch it. I knew you were going to do that.
So we grow to make sure that you can eat healthy and organic foods. And then also we do sustainability to make sure you can sustain the environment. So it's really important that not only we do this ourselves, but then we teach others so that they can then grow their own gardens. So kids come here every Wednesday. We teach them how to grow, how to start from seeds, how to harvest, tasting this stuff if they've never tasted it before. And they've been really engaged. It's been really a cool experience.
So the difficult part is going to be just like everything that we've run into as we do. Like I said, we come here to teach and garden. We also go to schools and go to communities to build out and help them. So we visited like at least 3 different properties to look at and see how we can help them build. But the most important is keeping the kids, even the adults, engaged, because it is a lot of work. And with these children, they range from about 5 years old up to
like 16?
17. Yeah, because I was talking to the gentleman last time that was helping me. They were juniors. And playing ball, so I was just explaining to them about healthy eating and exercise, and how working in this garden is, my son does it, what I'm saying? He's bigger than me now at 14 years old.
Gets you country strong.
Get you country strong. So you want to play football, that's them country boys. So, but keeping them engaged and having them learn, because our whole purpose with them, like they're across the street from the garden, and there's a store, and we're going to start partnering with the store, because we want to show the kids from building out the land, planting the seeds, getting to the starters, put them into the ground, growing, getting them into the store, and actually doing the process of the business aspect of it, of selling it, trying to figure out, okay, I put this much time in it, this is how much I'm going to sell it for, this is how much the store needs to buy it for me for, and what's going to be my profit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be not the difficult part about it, but the difficult part is it's not an overnight success. So you're going to plant it. It could be up to 90 days before you start seeing him, but you have to take care of it. So we have a little contest with them now. They have to bring it back in 2 weeks.
So they all planted kale, because what we'll talk about soon is what we're going to be planting in the fall season, so you guys know what to do moving forward. But we had them all plant kale seeds, and whoever can keep their kale alive for the next 2 weeks can come back and plant it in our garden. However many people can come back and plant it in the garden, they get $10.
$10 a piece.
Yep.
Millionaires. I bet you they threw them things away.
I know, wondering how much we're going to get back.
We had 20 kids, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how many come back. But like I said, it's going to be interesting, and the kids are engaged at every age group, different backgrounds, different nationalities, colors, everything. So that's the interesting part, or whatever. But trying to keep them engaged and not thinking it's just all work. That's probably the most difficult, heavy lift for Roots and I, is to make sure it's something educational for us, because it's an hour and a half every Wednesday. So it's another job.
It is. Now, speaking of what those kids are planting, I said they were planting kale, and then moving forward, I'm going to just talk about what you guys could be planting come the cooler season months, like the fall. One thing that's really exciting about this new season with the Turn Up podcast, and especially with our partnership with TLSC Radio, is that they have some new platforms that can give us some opportunities to be more interactive with you guys who are listening to us. So if you guys go check out the TLSCradio.com website, that's www.tlscradio.com. There's a lot of interactive tools that you can use this season. For instance, we have a live chat. So then while you're listening to the podcast, if you have specific questions about what we're talking about, you can actually live chat with us. And there's also an audio feature where you can actually send us a live audio video or an audio, video, right?
Yeah.
An audio video where you can actually send us a video talking or
asking us questions,
asking us questions,
showing us your garden. Like, hey, this is brown. What's going on right here? This is what I'm growing, and or even just to even brag. That's even better. So that is the TLSC, the Lounge Soul Cafe. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just the Lounge Soul Cafe, TLSCradio.com.
So make sure you guys are interactive with us. We want to make sure that you guys get all your questions answered. We want to see your gardens. We want to be able to answer your questions right as we're talking. So it's going to be really fun, and we're looking forward to those opportunities this season as well.
And there's phenomenal other shows too. Besides the Turn Up, there's we got some new shows that are coming out. My boy Byron's show, I can't wait for that. I mean, that's
the B-side.
The B-side is going to be phenomenal. Women in Business, I know that's a new one that's coming out. And then the oldies but goodies that are on there. So the DJs and Let's Be Grown, all those different shows. So,
and don't forget, you still got Mind in My Temple. Okay?
I forgot about your show too.
Right before the Turn Up podcast at 8 o'clock. Don't forget about that one. Y'all know that's me.
Yeah, but stay tuned into it. Like I said, stay in tune. Visit the site. Follow everybody. Like I said, and just try out these different shows. Try it out, because like I said, it's good. It's good for the grown folks.
Yes. So let's talk about what to do moving forward. Of course, it's starting to get cool. The summer months are winding down. I know, it's so sad. Summer's my favorite season. But there's a lot of cool things you guys can grow as the season starts to move into the cool weather. The cool weather loves your leafy greens, and so this is a really good time to plant your leafy greens, and they're easy. So typically your summertime crops, you have to do like seedlings, and you have to do transplants, and so you have to actually plant the little seed inside, have your little in-house greenhouse. But your fall time crops actually do not need all that pre-planning and pre-setup. You literally can just put those seeds in the ground, and you're going to look for your leafy greens. So example for leafy greens would be kale, arugula, spinach, lettuce, collard greens, cabbage. You can also grow green beans, you can grow beets, you can grow carrots, and that's really about your fall time crops.
Yeah, and think about it. That's what I tell people. I said the best thing about that. Think about the vegetables that you eat at the holiday seasons. And if you start planting them now, think about having your own spinach, kale, salad. your own collards,
collard greens,
mustard,
your own
everything,
cabbage.
everything. Like that is a phenomenal way to bring in the holiday season of giving in and rejoicing. So that having your own crop, I think that's phenomenal. If you can just get, what is it? You can do an 8x8 or 4x4. Everybody thinks you need to have this huge garden. No, but if you, like I say, you ever have any questions or say, hey, I would like to grow this. And then we'll let you know what you can grow and how to grow it, because you can't grow everything in the same area.
Yeah.
So just anytime for a question, reach out to us.
And to be real honest, you can just plant leafy greens in a pot. So if you have a couple pots on your backyard, little patio deck, you can kind of plant leafy greens in just a pot, and that's easy. You don't even need a box if you don't have one or don't feel like going through that type of work outside in your yard. One other thing I wanted to talk about for the fall is it's really important to understand what you plant after another so that you can keep your soil really rich and nutrient dense. And so specifically in the summertime, you're planting things like your tomatoes, your peppers, your cucumbers, your watermelon, that stuff that loves like water. And then you need to replenish the soil because those like to pull all the nutrients out. So you're gonna put the nutrients back in, and the stuff like the kale, the lettuce, the collard greens, and all those leafy greens actually put the nutrients back into the soil. So you call that succession planting. And so you don't, deplete your soil so much. You want to make sure you know what comes next. So what comes next after those is definitely your leafy greens. So they actually work off of each other. A lot of times we think like, oh, you got tomatoes in the grocery store in November. They shouldn't actually be there, right? But that tells you that's why in the wintertime you see these dishes like cabbage and collard greens and things like that, because that's what should be growing. And they like to be cold because they're crisp.
Yep. And that's what we tell the kids like that. I said, we always ask them questions. We don't just tell them, it's like, hey, just want you all to start thinking. It's like, why do you think, one, all the tomatoes in the store look the same? You know what I'm saying? Or why are they more expensive in the winter times based off of where you live? Like now, if you live down in Florida, when I was down there at my buddy's garden, that thing grows like that all of the time.
All the time.
Yes, but there's certain things that can't grow up here. Like he said, hey, I'm gonna give you an avocado. Hey, it ain't gonna grow up here. It ain't gonna make it up here. But so like I said, we also try to teach the kids, like as they grow, that everything doesn't look the same. Everything's not the same shape. It's not the same color or whatever. So I was like, some of these was grown in big warehouses and the GMO, because there's more people on this earth than there used to be. So you can, to feed them, you have to genetically modify some of those to get those produced at that quantities. So
yeah. But this season, we're going to give you guys a lot of information. We're going to have a lot of special guests on, so make sure you tune in this season. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interactive. You're going to be able to see us act a fool.
I was trying to work on not lifting so much. I know it's crazy. I don't even know if my muscles ain't fit in this thing. So excuse me if a lot of this was blocked or whatever. So again, the Lounge Soul Cafe on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. TLSCradio.com. We're gonna have live chats and audio, live chat during the show, and live video messaging.
So please make sure you just tune in with us every Wednesday at 8:30. It's a Turn Up Podcast. You can also find us at www.graperoots.org. Oh, graperoots.org.
Yes.
It's www.graperoots.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Graperoots Inc. And with that said, we out.